Check valve on the compressor, that check valve is like a no return valve that each refrigerant that has been pumped out through the through the discharge, right? Through the discharge, it doesn't comes back into the compressor. So when it doesn't comes back, what happens? So every pressure that has been sent through the compressor discharge system goes all the way to here. And if there is a restriction here, that pressure, what is going to happen to that pressure? The pressure is going to remain the same. It's going to build up. Now we're talking about when there is a more restriction here and the compressor have pumped a refrigerant and you have this your high side gauge connected to the system there. The pressure is going to remain right between here and here, and that is why most oftentimes when there is a restriction inside a system that makes the refrigerant not to equalize, right? Not to equalize, then where you're gonna spot it in most often time is actually on the high side, because the high side is taking a reading between this 1/4 inch here, the liquid line condenser back to the compressor. That is most often place where you're gonna see the spike going around 400 or even 450 psi. Okay, so I hope you fully understand this. Now I'm gonna use some other thing to actually illustrate this better before I wrap up why the system restriction, and I'm gonna be using a simple fuel pump. Now the case of a fuel pump, you guys know that when you fed up a 12 volt here, feed the 12 volts into this very place here, it's gonna keep pumping fuel. Now let's say it's pumping the fuel into this very place here. Continue pumping the fuel into this very place here. Let's say as it pumps it right now, let me create some. It's going through the liquid line. Let's say that this is the liquid line and it's going in there, right? And your high side quick connector plug, which is this one right here, is connected in one of this pipe here, and you keep this, just have it right there that this fuel pump is on and it's supposed to be pumping fuel to get past this very little tiny hole here. And in the end, while you're pumping it, and it won't allow the refrigerant, it doesn't allow the fuel to pass. What's gonna happen? This pipe here, if this pump is very hard, it's gonna start swelling up. And if you have your manifold gauge set high side placed on it, it's gonna be going really high. It's gonna be hitting the roof, because this fuel pump is designed that no any fuel that goes through here that comes back in, and therefore it's gonna try to shut off the fuel from going back. It's gonna push it further to see if it's gonna get past this very side here. So in other words, what it really means, what I'm trying to explain to you guys here, is when the system doesn't equalize, here is where the most problem actually comes. The sensing bulb that is here, the spring, is not doing its job. Maybe there could be dirt, there could be debris, maybe the last section that serviced it wasn't clean enough to actually keep the system clean, and therefore some dirt actually get in here. I've actually seen a lot of things like that. So it can actually create a partial restriction or a full system restriction. If you create a full system restriction, then you're gonna be seeing the pressure. What's gonna happen right there is, let me ask you guys, you suppose there is a full restriction here, what do you think is gonna happen on the low, what do you think is gonna happen on the suction part of your manifold gauge set? Are you gonna be seeing the reading going around 80 psi when the compressor is on? Now we're talking about a full system restriction here. When we're talking about a full system restriction, you can actually know that not only when the system is shut down, but also we're talking about a full system restriction, not a partial restriction. Partial restriction, actually, you can only troubleshoot that when the system stops, because then the refrigerant is flowing into here and going here is trying to get past here. The one that have come here has actually gone enough, which you can see the reading right here. It could be 80, but the other high pressurized refrigerant that is passing through the liquid line from the condenser going here is still stuck right in there and just going little by little. So if suppose we have something to be able to listen to it, you can be hearing this whistling a little bit. At that partial restriction stage you're talking about here, there is every tendency of the oil system starving the oil. The oil can get past it because it's just very little. The gas are just struggling, right? The gaseous refrigerant are just struggling to get past here, but the oil wouldn't get past there. So at that, the pressure reading you're going to be getting from here, which goes all the way to here, is going to be really much. On the low side, if the system is in as much as the AC is on, you're going to be seeing on the low side probably maybe around 10 psi around here, and the high side is going to be going crazily mad because this expansion valve wouldn't even allow the refrigerant to get past here. So there's going to be a lot of pressure built on the liquid line, the condenser, back to the compressor. I hope you guys understand this. I've used a lot of multiple ways to actually illustrate this so that you can understand the technical implication or technical application of a system restriction where the system is not performing very fine, where the system takes more time to actually equalize. You should know what is actually going on. You should be able to understand it in your own best way, because if you really understand it, then diagnosing the system, which is what I'm actually teaching you on this very content here, is going to be a lot more easy if you have introspection of what is going on inside the system, aside what the gauge is. The gauge is just designed to give you an intel of what the pressures inside the system is going. And a lot of time I could hear some people say that it can actually occur in a condenser. Probably not. 9 out of 10 most often times which I've seen it, is no way going to the condenser area but actually coming to the expansion valve. So I want you to have it at the back of your mind right there. When there is a partial restriction, the flow that goes through here, the refrigerant that get passed through here from the condenser, from compressor to condenser, that is how the flow goes. From the discharge side, it goes all the way to the condenser. Then from the condenser, when the refrigerant has been condensed back into liquid from gaseous, then it goes back into this quarter-inch part of the expansion valve. When it goes through there, then it's up for the design, the engineering of this expansion valve to reduce it to the range which the manufacturers has deemed fit to be a very good flow of liquid refrigerant that should be flowing through here. Someone asked me within my YouTube channel, why should you put oil inside the condenser? And I replied him that the both of them are in the same circuit, so definitely there is no way a refrigerant is going to be flowing in liquid form without carrying some oil along with it. And that is why it's very important to add some oil inside the evaporator as much as the condenser, so that there will be no system starvation while the compressor is working to start creating any problem. I hope you guys understand from this very lesson right now. You can fully understand what it means when there is a system restriction. Now in the other side there, if there is no any restriction here, what it means is that because the first place that the refrigerant hits after the compressor discharge, when the compressor discharges, the refrigerant ratio 1:5 or ratio 1:6 is actually this very expansion valve. And when it hits this expansion valve, the expansion valve is supposed to actually allow it to flow into the evaporator according to the engineering or the metering ratio which they have designed it to be. So if it is more tighter, if the spring here didn't give up due to maybe some defectiveness in it, then it's going to create more restriction. The flow is not going to balance. I want you to have it at the back of your mind right there, right? That the AC system circuit, technically speaking, is like this. I mean, it's completely like this. All right. The refrigerant flows from the high side, from the discharge part of the compressor, and goes to the condenser. From condenser, it goes to the expansion valve. From the expansion valve, it comes back into the suction line through here and go back to the compressor again. And this motion continues every day. That is exactly what your car AC system does, the compressor does. So if suppose there is any restriction in any of the line, that is what you start noticing. It's through this manifold gauge set. So this manifold gauge set is actually to serve like a dipstick to tell you what is going on pressure wise, what is going on inside the system, not actually about the oil. It can't tell you about the oil, but the pressures. All right. Okay. I hope you find this very helpful to understanding why the system will not equalize, the technical side of it. If you have any further question concerning this very topic, drop it in the comment below the description. I'm going to answer you as soon as possible. And have a good one. If you're coming to my channel for the first time, I think you should, and you are a HVAC tech mechanic, I think you're gonna do yourself a favor by subscribing to my channel. I upload nearly every day, sometimes at least once or twice, 3 times in a week. So I hope to see you around. Catch you guys later. Bye for now.